Hi again, viewers. It's Jerison again, coming back with another episode of your daily show, NDBaker93, hosted on the YouTube channel ri4ctv.com. Today, I'm here with Nick Anthony Quach, the creator of Thumoslang. Me, alongside another person named Alec, have decided to create a Thumoslang textbook to get more people thinking about how to increase their social skills and overcome some basic problems that face all of us. So I today have some questions for Nick about that came up while I was thinking about this textbook, as well as related Thumoslang concepts. So, Nick Anthony Quach, what does it mean to be a master of relationships?
To be a master of relationships, you need to understand what master means and relationship means first of all. So, master, that means ease in discharge of skills. Relationship, that means ongoing relations. So, to become a master of relationship, you must be at ease in discharging the skills in creating and maintaining relations. That's the Thumoslang definition.
That's very interesting.
What surprised you from that?
It's less surprising and more, it makes sense because of how I've been driven to think lately. Because I think so much now about my relations with different people and how each of those relations can leverage myself into a better future. And without certain relations, a lot of things become a lot more difficult for me because I don't have certain skills. And so that answer makes a lot of sense to me because I've been forced to think about these relations and how to maintain them as I've gotten into Thumoslang.
And by the way, a shorthand for the phrase master in relationships is Thumos.
Cool.
Thumos, that means master of relationships.
Cool.
So if you want to become a master in relationships, you need to become a Thumos. And if you want to become a Thumos, you need to speak Thumoslang.
Yeah. Okay. That's very cool. So my second question is about the business of the self. How does the relations department of the business of the self and the social relations that we create intertwine? How are they connected to each other?
Social relations. Is there a relation that's not social?
No, not that I know of. I just chose that word.
Okay, then there's no need to say social relation, just relation.
Cool.
So ask your question again.
how are the relations department of the business of the self and the relations that we create intertwined? Are they one and the same?
No.
Okay.
Your relations are the reality of your social life.
The reality of your social life.
Yes.
And the relations department is
where you manage them.
okay.
You know what management means?
Minimize resource waste.
Yep. Management, that means preventing resource waste. So the mission of your relations department inside your business of the self is to prevent the waste of resources applicable to various relations of yours.
So if I have somebody who works in my dreams department of the self, does that count as a relation?
The question is, when is it a relation? To answer that question, you need to define what a relation is. Relation, that means purposeful involvement. Therefore, it's independent of dreams department or whatever departments you're dealing with. The question is there a purpose that the two of you share in the activity?
Mm-hmm.
And if the purpose is mutual, then you have a relation.
Otherwise, it's a service?
Yes.
Are their services... Okay. So services don't count as relations.
What is a service?
Okay.
We may want to ask.
Uh-huh.
Service,
Mm-hmm.
that means deliberate assistance.
So when I work at Chipotle, I provide a service.
You are assisting your customers with deliberation.
Mm-hmm.
Namely, you have documented menu items.
Yeah. The but it's not a relation.
When you ask a question about relation, you need to have two names of two individuals. Without two names, that question may not make any sense in Thumoslang teaching situation.
Okay.
So your question is invalid.
Okay. So,
without two individuals involved in that question.
Mm-hmm. So if the individuals are you and the customer, right?
You, who's you? Try not to use the pronoun.
Jason and the customer. I'll say.
Okay.
right? Is when we speak to each other, are we not purposefully involving
What's the purpose?
to provide the food for the person?
You are providing the food for that person. That person is not providing the food to you, and therefore your statement, even though it doesn't make any sense, I'm going to claim that it's not a mutual purpose.
That's interesting.
Clarify.
Oh,
Elaborate what you have in your mind. Why are you surprised?
well, when I speak to a customer at Chipotle, I can speak to them along the concept of the service, which is what kind of food, all of that stuff. But I can also speak to them outside of that. And so I usually alternate between the service and other things to learn more about the person or whatever. And I view that as having two facets to the conversation. And I was viewing that as two separate relations inside that one interaction.
This is the reason why too many people, create relationship problems to themselves. Because you created these stories and you tell yourself these stories that do not reflect reality.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that you could match what you've just told me with reality is to know what's in the mind of your customer. And I can almost bet you my bottom dollar, every dollar I have, that in the mind of your customer never had two relations. And even if they did, never the same that you had on your mind with that person at the time.
So they just view me as a talkative Chipotle worker.
Once again, you're speculating. That may not be true for every customer.
Interesting. So
my teaching of Thumoslang boils down to this. What Thumoslang tell us in general is to stop telling the lies to ourselves, especially the lies that we generate by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that is half of the reason for all the unwanted drama in life.
Mm-hmm. Cool.